is an open forum. It simply means that after Bhishmji gives his opening remarks, you can contribute your thoughts. So Bhishmji.
Okay. Let me take care of this business.
भीष्म जी आज आपका वीडियो बड़ा अच्छा आ रहा है।
आपके लिए किया है मैंने सारा इंतजाम। आप हमेशा शिकायत करते हैं मेरी नजर नहीं आती।
आप समझ गए। अब आप पूरा मतलब 80% आप ही आ रहे हैं स्क्रीन पर।
It takes time, you know, for us.
पहले 80% आपको कमरा आता था।
So first thing is Happy New Year. I mean, that's Happy New Year in terms of our new program this year. And also for everybody, even though we have very, very, very unfortunate situation for 1 year or more than 1 year, still it's continuing, but we have been doing all right. Somebody sent me something. I want to mention this, that he wrote me something about Dinkar, the great poet of India, said. Let me read in Sanskrit. They say, "Yahan varsh hame swikar nahi." Yahan varsh hame swikar nahi. I mean, he was talking about the New Year Day, which we are celebrating. I mean, he was saying at this time too. But you know, I thought about it, that what is our old years? I mean, of course, we know Sanskrit or our Upanishads and other places, there discussion of some other day for celebration and everything else. But what do we know about that? Of course, maybe Viveki knows about it, or maybe somebody else knows about it. I may know about it. But what about the whole world of Indians living all over the world? They know about it or not? So, you know, in saying again and again that we should not celebrate this day and celebrate some other day, it's irrelevant for everybody. It is relevant only for considering that we had something which was very important, which was very great historically. But I think I will leave it to this place, because the person who sent me this letter, I hope he was here, but he is not here. But
I'm here.
Anji.
I have this whole poem of Ramdhari Singh Dinkar in my hand.
Oh, okay. You didn't send it. Somebody else sent it to me.
Yeah, it is in circulation. It is viral now.
Okay, then I'm sorry if you sent it by you. But somebody sent it to me, so I said, let me see what.
So if people are interested, I will read it towards the end.
No, that's
all right. Very beautiful poem.
No, the poem is beautiful, but the first line I'm talking about, that we have no other choice but to celebrate what we have. This is our day, which was yesterday was a day too, of our day, of our kids' day, or all our people day. So we have to be realistic on this side. But of course, we can talk about our system, all right, no problem. I had to say this. So, but one thing, we had a wonderful, our last year, we had wonderful programs, and most of the discussions we had were very lofty and very, very well studied. And it helped us to understand many things. It helped us to understand rules, regulations of various kinds. And also we have some very scholarly scriptural discussions. And all these things were very lofty. And I must say that we were very pleased, and I was very pleased personally, that we could develop that kind of a program, and we were very successful. And I hope we continue with this project for the year or years to come. Now, Dinesh has suggested me good things too, by the way, including this one, that he suggested me this topic for today. I usually talk to everybody around me, my people, that what topic we should discuss at this time of the meeting. So he had suggestion, and I immediately followed that suggestion and sent the request to Vivekji to inform everybody that we will talk about what do we think about the next year. When we talk about the next year, naturally we have to talk about the past also. What happened in the past and what do we expect in the future. But anyway, I will not talk too much about this, but I'll talk about a few things to give a start and let the people come also so they can join the discussion. See, few things happened in the recent past. Rather, this year, few days ago, which are very, very, very inspiring, helpful, which shows a trend of the future also, what's going to happen. Like, for example, as you know, or you don't know, let's know about this, that New Year action regarding taking care of the NGOs, 12,580 NGOs were almost disbarred. They cannot process their foreign request. They used to get the money from foreign countries, now they cannot get it. This is on the 1st of this year it happened. That's a good start because those people were getting money and using it for wrongful causes, for sometimes anti-national causes, sometimes for promotion their only limited interests only in India, which are not for India, but which was for their own agenda. So that was a good thing, news by the way. Those NGO, of course, are unhappy because they were getting the money and there were all kind of things. Then the second thing I think I'm very much impressed with, of course, I didn't get the details from my support mechanism. The Shiksha, whatever new system is now, which is called corrected teaching text messages. Now schools have new textbooks or will have or almost have at this year new textbooks. Those textbooks would be geared for developing in students the real story of the history will be properly corrected. And that is something very good because I remember when Atalji was the prime minister at that time, he tried, and I was working with him at that time. Of course, Joshiji was the minister at that time. And they wanted to do something about this, but they couldn't because they didn't have, they had to depend upon some votes, and those votes were not with them at that time. So we're very fortunate that we had Prime Minister who did a good job, or 7 years ago, they appointed a committee and they did a very extensive job and in doing something about the history. The history is properly respected and informed. Otherwise, students were from childhood given a story of some kings, some badshahs or something else, and all the stories of Akbar, to Babur, to everybody else being taught without any real understanding of what Hinduism or what Hindu culture was or what India stood all the time. So I think that gave me a good feeling to say to you folks at this time, because you are going to talk now, that these are the good starts. And of course, there are a few other things I can talk about, that there is a little bit very progressive movement going on for Ghar Wapsi. There are people, the units, they're working together for in many states at this time. And many people are going back to their original roots.
Biji, your voice is breaking up and every few minutes it's freezing.
What should I do now? No, maybe. Where is it?
Nothing. No, it will be okay.
It will be okay.
Your connection, Wi-Fi may be a little weak, so don't worry. You are doing okay now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's it. That's what I'm saying, that, if, so let's go on. What else we can take? So, so something is very, very discouraging at this time. And as pointed out by our friend here earlier, he took the nice stage. We're talking about, he talked about HR 5665. That is the HP 5665. That was which talks about combating Islamophobia Act. Okay, that was passed by 219 to 212 votes in the House, and it was passed about 2-3 weeks ago. So that's very discouraging, because this is principally damaging our interests, India's interest, Hindu interest all over the world. But of course, it will not pass a Senate. I don't think so, because they don't have votes, because 212 people voted against it. And they were basically on the party line. Okay. So because of, there's no, I think it's almost non-majority at this time, equal number in the Senate, but I don't think they will get it. But as has been told, that we are trying to put together something in this direction, and the main thing is we should talk to people whom we know in the Senate. Okay, and that's it. We need 2 votes in the Senate, extra votes, to get it done. 1 vote extra vote. The rest would be following the number. But this is a very, very strange kind of thing happening in America. So we have to think about America also. So that's a future I'm talking. This year we have to talk about America now, and we have to figure out who are the people who are just going along with that kind of approach, and trying to advise them properly. I don't want to say anything more than that. We have to educate them, as we did in the past, right? We send the letters and everything else. We should send them the letters and everything else. So educate them that you are doing something wrong, or which is inconsistent with America's way of doing business. Okay, so that is anti-American approach to get into that kind of business. But anyway, so that is my initial thought about this. Then what can we do now? Now, of course, you will talk about other issues, and I want to listen and we talk. I will join you whenever you feel like joining. But there are some good things happening in the past, also recent past, a lot of good things happening. And what do we expect next time? I'm not talking about the details of it. Like, for example, people talk about Ram Temple, talk about this various other things happening. What happened in Kashi and everything else, Kashi situation, and all those things happening. And we were happy about this. Other things happened too. And do we expect in Mathura to be done something there this year, right? In Mathura, consistent with what they're doing at this time? This you can think about it, because this India heritage is involved. India's past is involved. It's not religious thing. It is cultural thing. It is our historical existence depends upon these kind of things. Okay, then can we have to ask the question? Can we get back all the temples in the proper folder? Retrieve them from the unnecessary bondage by the governments all over. Of course, we had a very good debate on this one time. Can we have genuine ghar wapsi, genuine approach, with understanding? All these things we have to figure out. Can we do it in the coming year? And so we can have, then we talk about various other things too, which I don't want to talk at this time. For example, you will talk about this. How can we develop our international relations more effectively? Can we do something about China? Can we do something more about Pakistan? Now, of course, there are some indications now that we are trying to help Afghanistan in such a way that that Pakistan is unhappy. So there are politics going on all the time, and there is going to be some sort of movement. But I don't want to talk about this in detail at this time. But I'm saying is that we have to show in concrete fashion, then talk about economics, how we can improve economics. But we have done a great job. But let's talk about this. You are all scholars, thinkers, and you know more than perhaps I know sometimes. So let's talk about this. That what more can be done in this year? So we can say that we had a good year. And then also, I will take this opportunity to request you to give me suggestions all the time. Suggestions of what kind of speakers we should have, who we should have, because I'm not going to talk to, that's why this is the first time I'm just talking, because I didn't want to talk like a speaker. That's why I requested that I'm coordinator now. So I can coordinate this now. You please continue, and we can ask questions from each other. And of course, Vivek Sinha will take care of this now from now onward, and he will manage the program. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Bishji. Dr. Saab, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? Would you will?
And you?
Yeah.
Dr. Purohit.
Sure, yeah. I think I just heard, and I think there are a lot of things which is going on. First thing, we just discuss about what is happening, this Muslim phobia, which is already passed in the Congress. And I agree that, it will be difficult, but we have to lobby them, because without lobbying is not going to affect us. Even the Senate, we are sure that it might not pass, but still we have to work on that part. Recently, as we heard that in New York, there was our friends got together and has got the Senate Majority Leader with them. Also, they should have told him that, look, this is coming in your Senate and don't pass it. He's a Democrat, because you have to work on the Democrat as well, more than the Republican. Republicans are definitely going to go against it. That is my feeling is. So that is one thing I think we just have to go more on the Democrat as well as, of course, the Republican, and we have to lobby that part. And I think the physicians in New York, and we are also in API, we are looking into that part to lobby to these Democrats who we are associated with in every state, and senators as well as the Congress people. Second thing that is improving in India, one thing I have to just mention very briefly, that in America we live, this is a great democratic country, but this is they call them as a Christian country. India has a Hindu majority. What is wrong, they're calling that a Hindu country? And it is a Hindu country because majority of the people are Hindus. Minority, we are also should take care, just like we are doing it here. Actually, India, we are taking more care of the minority than what we are doing it in this country. So I think that is another thing in the look into the thing that the coins should be staying where it should, and I think that should be. And as far as the progress of the country is tremendous on the Modi's time, and economic as well as the foreign relations, I think everybody is number one in the whole world actually for popularity. I think he's done a great job. And I think that the opposition party has to learn a little bit more how to talk. And they talk a lot of rubbish in the politics, which does not have any stand. And I think India has to improve significantly on that part, because anybody can speak anything in the news media, and that comes to here. And my friends ask him here, well, what is happening to your country? I mean, that is a shame. Sometimes we have to just answer those things. I say, look, this is all humbug. I say, well, this is what it is. So I think those are few things which we can discuss later on. And I think, and we can just open for everybody else. I don't want to take much time.
Thank
हाँ
you,
विवेक
Dr.
जी,
Sir.
विवेक जी
दिनेश
मैं
जी.
कुछ बोलूं?
Please, yes.
तो भीष्म जी ने काफी अच्छी बातें कही हैं सब, जो अभी रिसेंट पास्ट में हुई है और आगे जो होने वाली हैं. The only thing I would like to add to it is about Kashmir. Since Article 370 is gone and many good things are happening. Recently, two good things happened in last couple of weeks, which did not get much attention in the media. One is that now anybody can buy land in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. Anybody in India. Earlier, it was only permanent resident of Jammu and Kashmir, so nobody else could buy any land. And people have started already buying the land, especially to install, to establish some new factories, companies. So a lot of businessmen are buying. And second very important thing that happened in Jammu and Kashmir, that Sainik colony, the retired army officers colony, is being set up in different parts of the Jammu and Kashmir, especially along the border areas. So these two very important things Modi government has done, which did not get much attention in the media because of what is happening in the UP election and COVID and all that. So I thought I would like to mention that. And another thing about Bhishma ji mentioned about the temples. So Karnataka government, which is BJP government, has already put a bill that it is going to release all the temples and give it back to the the priest or the organization or whatever, or VHP, whosoever wants to manage the temples in Karnataka state. So that is very, very important, because most of the temples, especially in South India, are controlled by the government, the state governments, and they misuse the money and they use it for for madrasas and mosques and all.
Again, I'm seeing the voice breaking up.
So that's all I have to say, Vivek ji.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. Anyone else wants to?
Yes. Namaste. This is Gaurang. Hello, everyone.
Namaste. Karan, का video नहीं on. Are you on the video?
नहीं
just
है,
audio?
मैं डेस्कटॉप से काम कर रहा हूँ तो वीडियो नहीं है.
Sure, no problem.
अभी बात हुई. First one was regarding House Bill 5. I forget the number, but Islamophobia Bill, which I was very interested in. The concern that I have is we are thinking कि Senate में pass नहीं होगा. It is on party line. Senate is 50-50 right now. And as a tiebreaker, VP will be voting. So there is a remote possibility that it could work. So we want to focus on definitely some of the Democrats, moderate Democrats. The second impact I see on this one is even though it may not pass at national level, what will end up happening is like earlier there, so many proclamations happening in various counties and cities. This could trigger into that kind of situation where cities or states might take over. And we may have law indirectly. So we should try to oppose this in as tough a stand as we can. क्योंकि next month मान लो कि ये नहीं हुआ, state of California या फिर city of San Francisco, they will come up with the law. Then another city will come up with the law. This could again boomerang against us. We are only thinking national, but we should think even at lower level, cities and counties and states. That's number one. Number two, we talked about Ayodhya, Kashi, Mathura. For this, we need to be vigilant and we should start preparing ourselves in advance by speaking in different forums, because this can again be used by Religious Freedom Act to, attack on India again, because everybody is looking for an excuse to attack India. This can also come into that form environment. So I believe what we should do is we should focus on preventative rather than wait for something to happen and then react to it. And if we can come up with some plans on a proactive manner on these two issues, it will be great.
Thank you, Aurangzeb.
Thank you. That's good.
Anyone else wants to say
Yeah.
a few words? Girish,
Hello,
please.
this is Girish Desai. Can you hear me?
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. First about that, the law passed by the Congress here. Whenever I get a email from Biden or Harris or Democratic Party for donation or for support, I write them back saying that what you are doing is not correct, and you are going to that is going to increase the terrorism in the world. And every one of you must be getting emails from them. And I wish everybody writes back to them saying that passing this law is unjust. Number two, earlier we mentioned about the Prayagraj, Ayodhya and Kashi. I got a WhatsApp message from a friend that similar plan has been made for Mahakal, Ujjain also. Because Ujjain, Mahakal is surrounded by Muslims, which was the case in Somnath also. So by doing that, by making the modernization or expanding it, they'll get rid of the Muslims around Mahakal and they'll make a big, nice complex there. Another news came from Kerala, that Kerala government has a college that passes the law graduate who practice in the court during the day under the Indian Constitution, and they have a Muslim preaching also. So they try to influence the other judges and other people by their own teaching. So they have been taught two things, Muslim law and Indian law, and they are trying to propagate that. So I don't know how it is permitted, but it is not a very good situation. Now in Punjab, after Captain resigned from Congress, condition has become favorable for BJP. And I hope BJP wins more seats in Punjab than what they did earlier. And we are still awaiting the outcome from that CDS Bipin Rawat's accident. I don't think any outcome has heard so far by us. So, but overall, Modi is doing good there. But another thing, in Telangana Congress prepared a election manifesto. In that, they have given enormous favors to Muslims. Muslim student can get 20 lakhs loan, they can get this, they can get that. Oh my Lord, I heard that, and it is a Telangana Congress doing it. So we have to register our opposition to that also by tweets and all that. So that's all I have to say. And what Bhishmaji talked, it was enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you, Girish.
Vivekji.
Grishi,
Can I
let me correct you or add about CDS Rawat's accident report. I just heard this morning, the report has been submitted and they did not find any technical problem or any human error. Most likely they are saying it is due to the weather. And the cyber attack, that is impossible. That is what the report which has leaked out, they have submitted, but it has not been made public. So I was, seeing some video on that.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And about Telangana, Congress Party's manifesto, last time also they did the same thing and they could not win. They really lost very badly. So they do this every election. That is nothing new about Congress Party.
Okay, let's please.
Thank you.
Next.
Yeah. Who is
Can I-
next, please?
Tell you.
Can I
Sure.
speak? Can I say a few
Sure.
words?
Yes.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
please.
Namaste, everybody. This thing about Islamophobia Bill and this anti-CAA resolutions, if we think that it is to please Muslims, I think we are looking at the wrong thing. It is this whole, if they are so interested in welfare of Muslims, how come there was not a single resolution against China's handling of Uyghur Muslims, which is the worst that is happening? It's basically a genocide, ethnic cleansing going on, but it's only target against India. So we need to understand this Pakistan, a radical Islam, Muscare organization is only particularly targeted against India. Why is that? Because the globalist missionary complex, they use India to convert, control, and contain India. They have certain goals in India. They want to sell weapons in India. They want to convert India. And to do that, they use this Pakistan as a tool. They use that as a tool. And they use the radical Islamists and radical Islam. Now, to destroy, to weaken and control a civilization, you have to weaponize the radical disruptive forces. In India, the radical disruptive force is the radical Islam. And to weaken our Hindus who are supporting BJP perhaps and for their missionary goals. If you noticed it, in California, Khalistanis went and destroyed Mahatma Gandhi statue. Why would they destroy Mahatma Gandhi statue? What has Mahatma Gandhi got to do with Khalistanis? Because if there is one politician in the Indian history who spoke so strongly with the disgust about Christian missionaries, is only Mahatma Gandhi. I mean, he may have a lot of shortcomings, whether it is Islamic appeasement, selection of Nehru. There are so many wrong things he has done that could have, some feel that he has done a disaster to the nation. But one thing he is not, please read, I have in my blog, we have done a rally in front of Lincoln Memorial based on Gandhi's quotes. They are strongest quotes, asking Garva Apasi, asking for legislation. So that the Khalistanis, all these Naxalites, the radical Islamists, all these disruptive forces are the forces used as proxies, weaponized by the missionary global. In fact, there is an article by Arvind Kumar that came in a very respected conservative, American conservative portal called American Thinker. And he calls that State Department is like a deep state department of this country. About this, I urge you to read it. I think I sent it to the Bhishmaji. You must have gotten it. But you should definitely read that article because Arvind has done an excellent job. And so we need to get into this narrative of Muslims versus Hindus, Muslims and Islam as being used as a tool to weaponize by the Western forces, the military forces, the weapon industry, by the Christian missionary forces. So, and if you notice it, they want to create a USCIRF for Christians, this Islamophobia organization as an Islam thing. So they are created. I mean, what is USCIRF? The heads of all of them are Christian missionary, fundamentalist Christian missionaries. All those guys who are managing the top people in commissioners, they're Christian fundamentalists. And so if we understand in the context, then we will know what solution. I'm not trying to provide a solution here, but I'm just saying that we need to understand the context. That's all I have.
Thank you, Satyaji. Anyone wants to say something? केडिया जी हैं, विनोद जी हैं।
कहाँ है? कौन करना? मैं नजर नहीं आ रहा।
केडिया जी हैं, हरिहर सिंह जी हैं।
Kedia ji, will you like to speak something? Dr. Kedia. He cannot hear me, or he can hear me.
Yeah,
I think he's muted. He's
Dr.
muted.
Kedia? Dr. Kedia is
Yes.
leader of our group, by the way, in Baton Rouge. He's our leader of the book club. So he knows how to talk. Okay, go ahead. Say something, please. He's not listening.
I think it's not, his video
He's
is,
in mute.
audio is.
Kedia ji, can you please unmute yourself? We
Unmute.
cannot hear you.
Yeah, I
Yes.
say I'm trying to understand the issues. You know,
Okay.
I know this Islamophobia and this has become a sort of an issue, but I'm trying to understand the roots of it.
Islamophobia is not the topic of today,
No,
but Islamophobia is one of the issues raised by us, somebody. We want to talk about this, but issue is basically for this year, how India can be better than last year. That's the issue. I mean, we are talking about these things, what we can do this year more than what we have done last year. So some of these issues are relevant for that purpose and according to whatever everybody is thinking about. It's not necessarily right or wrong, but we're just talking about this.
So
But
Vishnuji, the most important immediate thing in New Year is
Yeah.
it's the UP election, which we have not talked. That is the most important thing going to happen in 2-3 months.
I didn't mention any, excuse me. I did not mention anything about elections because our organization is not in the for or against of any political group as such. Of course, whatever we are talking about is when good is being done to India, we are for it. If not, then we have to figure out how to do good for India. Now, election is there, but we don't want to get into election part of it. We can talk about the leaders, we can talk about the issues, we can talk about, but if we get into people, of course, we personally can, but we are, as you know, non-political. Okay, as simple as that. Right or wrong.
There is another very good thing happening with India is the solar energy. I believe just recently some news came out that what India had promised to be done in next couple of years, it has already been done. So now they are increasing their target. So that's something very good from India's green energy or solar.
That's next 10 years. The target was 2030.
Right.
Viveki, what you should tell me, somebody should tell me what Tata has done recently, about a few days ago.
In the Kutch Run, the biggest solar park is being inaugurated by Modi ji last week in Kutch area, the biggest solar park.
Yeah, I understand this also, Tata also did something which is unique for the world purposes. There was some article, I read the article a little bit, not too much. I couldn't understand the whole thing because I'm a scientist, but I think they say that it's going to be very much internationally, almost it will be controlling international spheres. What they mentioned figures also, how much money he is putting in there, billions and billions of dollars. Okay, not 1 billion, many billions, and he has already developed something. By the way, you should know, scientists. He has developed something which is unique in the world. New system, something.
About solar energy or something else?
Something. I just read it usually. I don't go into details about science.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
I think it was the news that Tata has done something big. I also heard that part.
Yeah,
And that would be the, unique in the whole world. Also, India is #1 in the solar energy right now, way ahead of the world.
Yeah.
Aditi, Dr. Aditi.
A new thing which Modi ji inaugurated in Uttar Pradesh is a university for games. Major Uttam Chand Khel Vishwavidyalaya or something, which is a unique thing, and will
Meerut.
definitely promote a lot of players for different gymnasts and cricket and football and hockey.
Major
They want
Dhyanchand.
to bring it back.
Dhyanchand.
Huh?
Major
Major
Dhyanchand,
Dhyanchand.
yeah.
Dhyanchand Sports
Major
University.
Dhyanchand Vishwavidyalaya, yeah. So which is a unique thing, and I think this is very important for India to accede into that speciality which nobody had ever thought about it in the past. And with the improvement in our players' performances in Olympics and Paralympics, I think it behooves us to actually put some more effort into so that we can come ahead in that field also.
So Ajadji, I think this is an extension of what Government of India is doing for the sports per se. Khel Gram, they have been creating throughout the India, and this university is a just extension of that program to make sure we excel in the world sports, Olympic primarily. Adityanji, do you want to say something?
Okay, I will join, but before I make any comments, I was a little bit concerned when I joined that there were a number of unidentified people listening. And I think in other meetings also I've seen this, that people try to barge into private meetings. So there was somebody by name 2008, somebody by name iPhone, somebody by name GIST Forum that had joined, and I had to privately point it out to Vivekji. So I think what we need to do, try to make that unauthorized people are not listening to our conversation.
Sure.
Because clearly these people had not identified themselves. I will review 3-4 issues that I think we need to focus on. And I think Dinesh ji had said that we need to have a preventive approach. We need to, look at what could become problem for the issues we care about. So I like that idea of having a preventive approach. We can go and do that. Government has done this, Modi ji has done this. That's fine. I think what we need to do is anticipate problems, do threat perception, and try to nip them in bud. And if we use that approach of threat perception, I'm sorry to say that Islamophobia bill will come as a major issue. A little bit about the background of it. 31 years ago in 1990, Organization of Islamic Countries passed a resolution called Cairo Declaration. And Cairo Declaration had given a blueprint for a blasphemy law. What happened after that OIC countries went to United Nations several times asking the UN General Assembly to pass the blasphemy law by the UN so that in any country, any criticism of Islam or Islam's important people is punishable crime, an international crime. And Islamophobia bill is basically a reincarnation of that. So it is a serious issue. We should try to nip it in the bud by talking to both Republican as well as Democratic senators, because Senate is divided 50-50. One could ask some of the friendly Republican senators to do a filibuster if need be. One should try to work with moderate Democratic senators like Manchin and Kristen Sinema to openly say that they will vote against it so that it is not even brought to the vote. Leader Schumer should have some sense about it. The person who is spearheading it in the Senate is Cory Booker. And I think why it is important for Indian perspective that the bill mentions 3 specific countries to be monitored by United States Department. One of them is India, second is Myanmar, third is Sri Lanka. They want actually an envoy, special envoy to be appointed for these countries to be monitored on an annual basis, just like USCRF is doing. So create another institutions to monitor India. So from that perspective, it is very, very serious. Needless to say, when the first African-American president was elected, he chose to go to Cairo University again to pay obeisance to the OIC countries, and basically gave a statement that those who criticize the Prophet of Islam do not have a future. So it is not a simple, misguided attempt by Ilan Omar or by Western imperialists. There is a separate agenda going on. We have to open our eyes, and it has to be nipped in bud. Whether we want to work with Democrats or Republicans, both of them in a tactical as well as strategic manner, but this bill should not become a law. Otherwise, it will have major repercussions as far as India is concerned. I also want to bring a couple of concerns vis-a-vis India. Nobody has mentioned at this point in time. Recently, the Waqf board in Gujarat laid claim to 2 islands in Bet Dwarika out of 8 islands.
Yep.
And it is very, very serious because in 2013, under a UPA government, the laws were amended and Waqf board anywhere in India was given authority to claim any authority to claim that property as theirs. And the property owner has to prove that property owner is not the illegal occupier of the property. So this is a very serious thing. People have to open eyes, and the law needs to be amended again, that Waqf board cannot have the sole authority to claim any property as their own, because now they are claiming, and it has gone to the Gujarat High Court, and justices were not very happy. But this needs to be done at a national basis because the law was amended on the national basis. So that is a very serious attempt to, give legitimate authority to Waqf board, which has been there for now 7-8 years, and the law has not been repealed. It needs to be repealed, and we need to work towards it.
It is being done as of now. What I heard, that Modi government is working to repeal that law completely, and maybe Waqf board may be abolished in near future.
Whatever may have been done, it has not been done openly. We have waited 7 years, so there is need for some seriousness before this becomes a major issue.
Yeah, no, they are working on it. It is not very small thing. It is a very big thing, and they want to make sure that it is done, as a final thing.
Next issue I will raise is Chhattisgarh government last week, in one day, a cabinet minister allocated 12 acres of land to a Muslim body. In one day. And that Muslim body happens to be Pakistani Muslim body based in Karachi. No rules, nothing, because Chhattisgarh is now governed by Congress, Baghel government. So there are state level issues happening that have serious implications. And again, as a preventive watchdog, we have to look at these and guide the people who are in power, and don't look at it that seriously. It has serious implications. Lastly, about the temple issues, Hindu temple issues. In Kerala, there is a communist government that is appointing priests belonging to minorities in Hindu temples. So there's a video going around that in Hindu temples, they are actually singing the Kalama in Hindu temples, wearing, saffron clothes and all that sort of thing, because the priest that is appointed is Muslim. So you are having this, what is this happening? As far as temple control is concerned, in Tamil Nadu, the Chief Minister Stalin has come out and said that Tamil Nadu government will not hand over Hindu temples to Hindus, because if they do so, there will be caste violence, caste-based violence. Again, I must say that this issue is majority of the cases in southern states. But even BJP government in Uttarakhand passed a law and then they had to change the chief minister because there was so much of anger that a BJP government is controlling, trying to take over Hindu temples. So wherever there is an opportunity, the government, state governments are trying to use the funds of Hindu temples. And the only way this issue can be sorted out is for the central government to intervene and pass a law so that the states are not able to usurp the funds of Hindu temples. Time has come for the central government to intervene in this. So those are the few things I identified, and that's it.
I have one
Thank you.
question about it. Is that the only Hindu temple? What about the mosque and what about the? Are they getting the taxes from them?
No, they are not taking any revenue from them. It's only
Yes.
from Hindu
Well, that is
temples.
the discrimination right there.
Yeah, they are independent. Yes.
That's
There's a
what Supreme
discrimination
Court
right
said
there.
also.
Don't it be that they should take it from everyone and not just Hindus, Hindu temples? Because there is a lot of sort of misspending even in Hindu temples. So if all the revenue from all these religious places are taken by the government, that may be a better option than just saying that don't take it from Hindus.
No, it's
No,
not.
no.
It should be given back to them.
Not going to happen. It's never
It should
going to
not be
happen.
taken from any temple.
Yes,
Yes.
no, but you see a lot of course, there is a lot of temples we know as multi-billion dollars of stuff, and that is not being utilized in a proper way.
Well, how do we know it's not being
Yes.
utilized in proper way? We don't see any
Absolutely.
harm.
Yes.
Thing
Because
is,
we know that because I mean Tirupati or even Shirdi, they have so much of revenue coming in and they are not spending for the sake of the people. I mean,
Tirupati
that
temple is covered, governed by the state government from Andhra. An IAS officer is the chairperson of TTD, Tirupati Tirumala Dham. And, these people, these bureaucrats live luxuriously. They get
Yes.
new cars, bungalows, stuff, all that is actually the hundi that supports these. So let's not go into the thing that, Hindus cannot manage their temples.
Yes.
Actually, at some point in time, Hindus need to ask for a legislation on par with, SGPC, Sikh Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee. An idea was floated that maybe we can have at state level Hindu Devalaya Prabandhan Samiti, elected body in which those people who identify by an affidavit that they are practicing Hindus, they should be allowed to contest elections and the electorate should be Hindu, so that Hindus manage the temples. I think you cannot have, special minority rights and this and that and deny Hindus right to manage their own temples.
No. What I'm saying is it should be sort of universal for all the religions, whatever it is, whichever way it works. It should include all the religions. Similarly, in church, I mean, they are
but
using their
better
money.
way is not to control them. Better way is not to
but-
control them.
But it should be
Let
all of
Hindus
them.
have
then.
their own control.
Well,
See, but-
other religious institutions are controlled by them, not by the government. It's only in the institutions of Hindu, the government pokes its nose.
Yes.
And it's only the institutions of Hindus from where the money is taken into the state, exchequer, not from churches, not from mosques, not from gurdwaras. So there is a, negative discrimination against Hindu institutions. This has gone on. And I think we should not try to rationalize because,
Yes.
what happened when RTE was brought out, that will be for everyone. Once the law was brought out, it was only Hindu schools that were targeted. Minority schools were given exemption. So again, saying that, government should take from everyone, that should not be there. Government can raise taxes. Government should not actually take money from the religious institutions, especially
where do you think-
in the republic.
So where do you think the money from the churches go to? Goes for conversion.
Yes.
This is where they're using that. So if we want to stop conversion, should we be talking about that and say it should not be done? Because
Well,
you see, we can say, oh, all the
Yes,
religions
sir.
are taking
the
their money, so
point
Hindus
is
should
that
keep it
if
too.
you are having millions and
No.
billions of rupees being taken by the government, if Hindus have that money, we should be able to fight conversion. Your money is going to government, not to you.
It's worse than that. They're actually building churches in Andhra. It's really worse. The government doesn't have money, but they're giving crores to churches. Lakhs and lakhs to churches and taking the money from Tirumala temples. Not only that, Christians are employed in the Tirumala Devasthan.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous thing to give to governments.
Actually, beyond that, they're actually taking temple land and using that to build churches. So, but that's like right within your backyard. They are trying to surround temples with
Yeah.
churches and mosques. In Tamil Nadu, I recently, about 2 years ago, when I traveled, same thing happened. Mosques pop up anywhere and everywhere. Churches pop up anywhere and everywhere. But I think one of
So-
the things that I like to focus on more is how can we work from here? Because most of us are here and we cannot, there are things that we can do, there are things we cannot do.
I think the simple word is that there should be only one law for
Yes.
everybody. There should not be a Muslim law, there should not be a Christian law, there should not be a Hindu law. Because Hindus are maybe are targeted that way because they are majority.
If
I
the
think
gov-
there should be only one law for the churches or for a temple or for masjids.
Absolutely.
If that comes, there will be always be exploited. Politicians going to exploit it. They will get the money. For the vote, they can do anything there. And especially the Congress party at this time, I don't want to just name that, but I think that is what is going on right now. They just want to please those minority just to get the vote. And I think if there's only one law, I think we will be way ahead of it.
no, the
Okay.
problem
Thank you.
is the problem that I see is that this government is capable, and if it lasts long enough, they will make changes into the law. But
Right.
what will happen is that how government here will react, because typically this will be considered as an anti-minority, and there will be an attack on India and Indians. So we should be preparing to prevent that now. That's the way I feel.
I think, thank you, everyone. It seems like this topic obviously can take a lot of time. And with the interest of time, Bhishji, if you want to do some closing remarks.
Yeah, one thing I want to say that it's a wonderful participation. Everybody was very good. I really enjoyed everybody's comments, and I don't want to make any comment on the comments. I think they were personal comments, and they were very good comments. Of course, there are many questions raised which could not resolve at this stage, but by one or two talks. Of course, I think I did mention, if you didn't mention, but I think I expect.
Bhishmji is muted.
Yes. Bhishji, can you unmute yourself? You got muted.
He does not know.
Bhishmji, can you please unmute? Yes, it's unmuted.
So uniform code is necessary for everybody. And that is a must. I think that will be done. My feeling is within a few months of this year, it should be done, because that's must for to go up. A lot of things can happen after that. But anyway, I think you were wonderful. Everything was great, and I got a lot of information myself. So I personally feel, Vivekji, I think I'm asking you, but I also talked to other people too, that maybe we should continue this dialogue for next term. So
Okay.
we are expecting some other speakers coming, okay, which name speakers coming very soon, which will have some, but I think this topic is so important, and we have discussed it very nicely, And I think we can just do much more than that and maybe make sections of this topic and talk about this. Because one thing is very relevant right now, what we can do. Because everything has been good, nicely done. And Adityanji has been there, he has, he does so many things in the world that he is a world man. So I think he can help us out to develop something for next program, okay? So Adityanji, you should think about how we can develop this program, what we have talked today, for talking next time also.
Okay.
And so I'll be neutral. So I'll take care of that. Sandhya, you can keep on talking, okay? You could give me more information, please, and we can go. And you can give information to Vivekji, and he will send to everybody, okay? So I think that's the best thing to do, because I think this is a very good topic. And I really enjoyed listening to all of you. And you are all intellectuals. We have so many doctors, so many PhDs here. Everybody's here. And I'm very pleased. And I hope everybody comes back. And the people who didn't talk, next time they should talk too.
Sure.
Who's dad here, by the way?
Dad, I don't know.
You look like a granddad, not dad. Dr. Saab, kya ho gaya? What happened to you? Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. Everything is great. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Have a news.
Good night.
Everything is okay. Thank you.
Good night.
नहीं आए, उसका मुझे बताना। उनको मैं पूछूंगा क्यों नहीं आए।
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.